coming back at you from inside the truck, heading southbound on Interstate 43. I'm loaded up, headed out. Today wasn't too bad. Only took them an hour and a half to load the truck. Fastest time I've ever had while getting loaded was about 14 minutes. This stop that we normally go to is about an hour and a half that averages to load the truck. The company pays us by the hour, but it's only $10 an hour for that, so it's not really a good deal, but it's better than nothing. So I'm headed south, got my seatbelt on, checking the mirrors, got the cruise control set, got my lane deviation sensors turned off, got my collision mitigation system bypassed. Those things I don't need. I'm a highly skilled, highly trained truck driver. I don't need sensors and buzzers and lights to tell me if I deviate from my lane. I already know that stuff. So to continue the conversation from earlier, yes, there's money to be made if you want to work the long hours, the weird hours. Most over-the-road trucking company, most over-the-road truck drivers don't start at the same time each day. They don't end their day at the same time each day. It varies from day to day as much as 10 to 12 hours. Some days you can start in the morning, some days you can start in the afternoon. And all of those things affect your performance as a driver. One of the things the DOT is concerned about is fatigued and tired drivers. And the medical industry has claimed repeatedly over and over again, if you have a consistent day and night schedule, then it's easier to maintain better health. You're less fatigued, you're less tired. But somehow or another, the trucking industry just doesn't seem to care. I know they understand it. They talk about it all the time in their little training videos. Don't be fatigued. If you're fatigued, pull over and stop. Take a rest, take a power nap, 10 minutes, whatever. You shouldn't be out driving when you're fatigued, but then the dispatcher schedules you to work a 14-hour day and you don't have time to stop. That's what they do. Their job is to make sure that truck is rolling as many minutes out of that 14-hour day as they can get it. That's how the trucking company makes money. That's how the drivers make money. So they push to the limits. The companies push to the limits and the drivers push to the limits. So it's a constant battle. Get as much work as you can get done, and they claim safety. But if you read between the lines, they push the safety limits by virtue of the schedule. If truck drivers earned a similar pay to, say, an airline pilot, when you work weird or extended hours, you make enough money to support your family, make enough money in the course of a year. You don't have to be working 60 and 70 hours every week, 50 to 52 weeks a year. But in truck driving, that's what you have to do. If you work less than 50 hours a week, you're not considered full-time in the trucking industry. The rest of the country considers, I think it's 38 hours or 36 hours as the bottom threshold for full-time. The trucking industry considers if you only work 40 hours, you're a part-timer. It's a little more complicated. It's a little harder to do for the trucking companies to switch drivers in and out of trucks to keep the trucks rolling. That's why you won't find very many trucking companies that have part-time drivers. I've looked. I've tried. I've tried to find a part-time job, 30 hours a week or less, and it's nearly impossible. Most trucking companies tell you straight up front they want you to work 50 to 60 hours a week average, sometimes longer. And of course, they try to build that up. I say, well, look at all the money you can make. You can work 70 hours. We got enough work. We'll keep you working 70 hours. Come work for us. And when I say, well, I only want to work 30, 35 hours, they say, no, thank you. Go someplace else. They won't hire me. So, this company I work for, I tried the same thing. I don't want to work full time. I don't want to work 60, 70 hours a week, but they said too bad. But as it turns out, my particular dispatcher, who kind of understands, is a little bit sympathetic to the driver's situations. If it's slow, or there's not quite enough work to keep all of the drivers for these shifts working, it's kind of an unwritten thing that I will be the first driver that gets time off. She will give me a day off and she'll reschedule so the other drivers still get their full-time work. Oh, there's that lane deviation. Let's turn that off. I didn't actually deviate from my lane, but the sensors are not totally accurate. They're less than perfect, and somehow or another the trucking companies think that they would rather rely on the information from those sensors for the lane deviations than on the training and expertise of this particular truck driver. That's their mistake, that's their error, but it is their truck. One way to get around that would be to buy my own truck. Then I wouldn't have to deal with all of that. I can be a top-notch driver and work at top-notch performance level that I'm accustomed to, that I'm trained to, without worrying about some boss or desk jockey breathing down my neck telling me I'm doing it wrong. But I'm trying to wind down my career. Only got a couple, 2 or 3 years left to go. So I put up with some of the garbage that the desk jockeys pull, because they read reports which of course don't take into account all the information. Those are typically skewed. They only give some of the information and then they try to build a report around that and claim, oh, if you wear your seatbelt it will save your life. Go out and look up the number of people who get killed in car crashes every year that are wearing their seatbelts. So just putting the seatbelt on is not a guarantee that it will save your life. The way the establishment and the commercials are trying to portray that is, they're really feeding you a false sense of security. If you wear your seatbelt, it'll save your life. Seatbelt saves lives. But there, of course, there's no information to back up as to what condition that life is. Instead of killing you, you may only be a paraplegic. To them, it saved your life. That's all they're interested in. They're not interested in quality of life. They don't put any of that into the reports or figure those into the statistics. So I don't pay a lot of credence to a lot of those reports, especially if they're PSAs, public service announcements, claiming that seatbelts are good. I happen to think that the concept of wearing a seatbelt is good, but the two factors are, one, seatbelts are not designed to function perfectly, and the second part is they're only designed to work under certain types of impact. If you get hit from behind, for example, the seatbelt does really almost nothing for you. You hit from behind, the inertia pushes you back into the seat, which is where you were to begin with. The seatbelt doesn't do a lot. It may prevent you from falling out of the seat after the impact, which is a good thing, but it doesn't do anything to protect you against damages that way. But they don't put those into the statistics, making their claims skewed. So, truck driver Mike headed on the highway, and again I drive at night, which is why the windows are all darkened out. I like the night I like the night runs better. Less traffic, less headaches, less stupidity out on the highway. And of course, I'm one of those guys who is a night person. I have a hard time getting up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work. That's just me. So I drive at night, which is a good thing for me. Okay, Truck Driver Mike signing out. Talk to you next time.